I'm Dr. Deb Butler, and you are listening to Thinner Peace and Menopause and Beyond. This is episode number 306. Welcome to Thinner Peace and Menopause and Beyond. This is Dr. Deb Butler, Master Life and Weight Coach, and as always, your coach. If you're a woman and you're smart and you're successful and you've been struggling with weight your whole life, and now menopause is making it harder than ever, and you are ready to make this the last time you ever have to go on a diet again, then this podcast is for you. Stay tuned. Well, hello, my dear friends all over the world. Today, I am going to play you one of my most valuable downloaded podcasts. So I've told you that I have the top 10 most downloaded podcast over 5 years of putting these podcasts on. And today I am playing one of them for you. And I think it's very, very important for you because it's all about massive action and failure. Two things you must learn if you want to get what you want. So it was popular 2 years ago. And I know if you have not been listening for more than 2 years, this is a very important concept for you to get. And if you have been listening for over 2 years, you can listen to this again because it's important that you get it. So sit back and relax and enjoy the podcast, one of my most valuable, on massive action and failure. Hi, all my dear friends. How are you today? It's a beautiful day in St. Louis, Missouri. I'm looking out. I live in the woods. So whenever I'm talking to you now, remember when I lived in Belize and I would tell you how I'm looking out at the Caribbean Sea and how gorgeous it was? Let me tell you how beautiful it is to look out at my woods and to see little buds all over the place on these trees. And it still looks pretty brown. And to know that in about 2 or 3 weeks, without any help from me, my whole forest or woods is going to be green. That is totally a miracle to me and totally amazing to me. But what I really want to talk to you about today is something I've been thinking about. I work with a lot of smart, brilliant women, as you know, and you know I love all my clients dearly because I do. They open up to me. They tell me what's in their hearts. We talk, we laugh, we cry. But one of the things that is probably the most exhilarating to me is when I can watch them go through something that's really, really hard that they might consider a failure and come out of it on the other end and realize that it was just a learning experience and how much they learned from either messing up, failing, whatever you call it. Whatever you call it when you're doing something to take care of yourself and it doesn't go the way you want it. You can call it falling off the tracks. What is it? Falling off the tracks, something like that. But anyway, what I want to talk to you about today is the whole idea of what success really means when it comes to really learning how to connect to yourself, really learning how to stay at a natural weight, really learning the foods that fuel you, really learning that you're in control, that it comes from all the tools that I've been teaching you over 108 episodes. And two of the most basic tools that I've never specifically talked about, but you must understand in order to go through this whole process. And those two tools are called massive action and failure. And I love both of them because for many of you and so many women that I talk to in many sessions, one of the things that they always have to tell me is how much they have failed in the past. They always have to tell me and how they really don't have confidence in themselves now because they haven't been able to do it before. And I say to them, why do you think that you failed? And they'll say, well, I started gaining weight because I gained all my weight back. And I said, why did you gain all your weight back? And usually the reason is because they started to either stop listening to their body or they started eating foods that they know that wouldn't really make them feel best in the end. They kind of lost their consciousness the way they look at it. They stopped thinking, they would say. But in reality, this is what I told them, and this is what I want to tell you. The only thing that happened if you weren't successful in the past with keeping your weight off is that you stopped. Period. Whatever it was you were doing, you just stopped. You made whatever happened to you, be it going off your protocol, eating a bag of almond joys. Almond joys. Well, I love almond joys. Okay. Or eating a bag of potato chips. Yes, I love potato chips too. What can I say? Okay. But doing some of those and then making it mean that this isn't working and then stopping. This is what I want to offer you. The only way you can fail is to stop. And that is what I want to share with you today is the difference between failure and stopping and also the difference between stopping and massive action. Because if you can understand massive action today and you can understand the concept of failure, then I guarantee you everything that I've been talking about on this 108 podcast, you will be successful at. So this is what I want to share with you. And I'm going to share a few of my clients' story with you today to give you specific examples of the difference between failure and success. First of all, massive action is when you're willing to do whatever it takes till you get to your goal. That means that if you have a goal weight and you have an idea that you want to be really connected to your body and to be at a natural goal weight and to stay there for the rest of your life, if that's the result that you want, if you're willing to do whatever it takes until you get there, no matter what, guess what? You will get there. Massive action, all it means is that you're just not going to stop. And every single time I teach my clients the idea of massive action, it's like a light bulb goes off in their head. Oh, and so I say to them when I'm working with them, so are you willing to do whatever it takes until you get there? No matter how long, are you willing to do whatever it takes? 9 out of 10 times, the answer is always yes. And guess what happens when they take this thought, I'm willing to do whatever it takes until I get this done? The feeling is always confidence. And you tell me that when you feel confident about what you're doing, what do you think your actions are when you're trying to take care of yourself? You never give up on yourself. That's what happens. And what is the result of doing what it takes and following all the things that we've been talking about? If that's what your action is, your result is only one thing. You are going to get to where you want. You will get there because you're willing to do whatever it takes and you're going to do whatever it takes and you're going to end up exactly where you want to be. That is called massive action. There are so many other thoughts that you can think when you're in the middle of doing this because of all the brain thought errors that happen in your own mind as you're going through with this and you're not aware of it. And a couple podcasts ago, I talked to you a lot about thought errors. But this is what I want to offer you today. If you're willing to do whatever it takes, all 107 podcasts of these, if you're willing to do whatever it takes, where do you think you're going to end up if you never stop thinking that thought? If you're always aware if that thought gets replaced with anything or you start having any doubt and you always are aware of it, you will get to where you want to be. I promise you. The tool of using massive action, which is just managing your own mind about your own thoughts, about who you are and what you're doing, is the only difference between getting to where you want or not. Now, I have a lot of people that come into my sessions individually. This is not what they think. What they think is, I've never been able to do this before. I don't think I'll be able to do it again. They use their past to define what's going to happen in their future. Now, you tell me, which person do you think will be successful in terms of getting to their natural weight and staying there permanently? Somebody that thinks, I'm going to do whatever it takes, no matter how long it takes, until I'm there. Or I've never been able to do it before, so I probably won't be able to do it again. One's going to create doubt and one's going to create confidence. You have a choice in your brain what you want to think. I want you to be very, very aware of this. And I want you to start thinking of this massive action tool when you hear thoughts running in your head that are creating doubt and confusion for you. Those are optional, not necessary. Now, here's the other thing that I want to offer you. The other tool is called failure. Yes, you heard it. Failure. Failure is exactly what it sounds like. It's when you're trying to do something and you don't get the result that you want. For instance, let's just say that you use my first tool, the physical hunger scale, and you're using it, and what you find out after a week or two is that you're eating way too much. You're going way beyond the +2. Now, with that information, you have two choices. One, you could think, I'm a failure, I can't do it, and you can stop. And what will be the result of stopping after you learn the physical hunger scale? You will never learn it, and you still won't be connected to your body just by that thought. But what if you're learning the physical hunger scale, and after a couple weeks, you notice that you're going way beyond +2s, and you're not exactly sure what's going on, but instead you have the thought, I'm going to do whatever it takes to learn this no matter what. What do you think will happen? You're going to keep figuring it out and keep working on it and not give up on yourself. That's called massive action. Now, when you find that you can't do the physical hunger scale in the beginning, you could call that a failure. You could call that a mess up. You could have any of those thoughts. And of course, those thoughts, if you're not watching your mind, could lead to stopping. If you stop after 2 weeks of trying to learn the physical hunger scale, what will be the result? The result will be that you will fail. Stop. You won't do it. You won't follow through with the program based on your thought that you have messed up and that you absolutely can't do it. Something like that, right? It means there's something wrong with me. But what if, since I've been talking to you now, you looked at it and you go, wow, what can I learn from this? Not why can I stop and what's wrong with me? Because everything you do that doesn't work out, that doesn't help you get towards your result, is information to help you get to your result. It doesn't mean stop. It means pay attention, get the data, figure it out, and do something different. And just think, if you thought about that every single time you were working on a connection with your body and you never made it mean anything other than, oh, that is really interesting. Oh, I just ate a bag of chocolate almonds. That's just an example, right? What if you're really, really so connected and you're doing really, really well, and then you find yourself eating a bag of chocolate almonds, which of course has happened to many of my clients many times. Do you make that mean, oh my gosh, I can't do it? I'm just like I was before? Or do you make it mean that it's just information? I'm going to do whatever it takes no matter what, and I'm going to figure this out. Because really, if you eat a bag of chocolate almonds, there is so much information in there, especially as you have more awareness as to why did you do it? What actually went on? And in so many of my coaching sessions, that's what we work on. We work on the failures, because in every single failure is a learning experience that will make you stronger and learn something that you didn't know about yourself before, right? Because that's probably what you've done in the past, is you messed up, you did something that wasn't on your protocol, you weren't connected to your body, and then you made it mean you can't do it. And what I'm saying to you is, when that happens, fascinating. When I'm in coaching sessions with people, this is where the best information is. This is where they learn the most about themselves once they can stop beating themselves up. I can always tell when I'm talking to a client and they didn't have a good week, how they sound on the phone. They sound like the whole world has just fallen apart. And they are failures. You can tell by the way they're talking. You can just hear the low tone. And by the time we're through with the conversation, they are upbeat because they figured it out. They figured out what happened. And then they learned from it, because that is what they used to do in the past. And when they did that in the past, what they made it mean is their failures. Now, into the present moment, if something doesn't go and they don't get the result that they want, all they have to do is go, I'm just going to figure it out. Isn't this interesting? Can you imagine if you just kept doing that going forward?
what do you think your result would be? Where do you think you would end up? So, what is failure? What is massive action? Massive action means doing whatever it takes. I'll do whatever it takes to get the job done. I will do whatever it takes to get the job done, no matter what. That's the thought of massive action. That means when you do something that doesn't work, you try something different. You never make it mean stop. It can be a failure, but you just make it mean, oh, I can learn from that. It's just like anything else that you've ever done in your whole life. I mean, have you ever done anything where you've ended up successful, but you've messed up a lot? Oh my gosh. Let me count the ways. Don't make it mean any different about you and your own body. It's the same exact thing. I want you to go easier on yourself and ask yourself, darling, what's wrong? Talk to me. Let's figure this out. In coaching sessions, I'm like your kindest self talking to you. And you know what? You have a lot of information to offer. And I want to give you an example from one of my clients because it's so fascinating to watch people go through a failure and then end up successful, right? So if a failure doesn't mean stop and it means learn, think about it. So one of my clients, she's doing really, I'm trying to think, like when we first started talking, she had absolutely no idea what was going on in her life with eating. If you looked at her food journal, she was just eating all the time. And she was really, really afraid of going hungry. I guess that's the best way to explain it. Now that she's in her last phase of coaching with me, one of the things is that she eats so thoughtfully and that she doesn't eat very often anymore because she's really calibrated her hunger scale and she's losing weight. But more than anything, as she would tell you, her life has changed. The way she sees everything is so different. However, within these however many weeks we've been working, few months, she has had some quote unquote failures. And I remember one of the conversations I had with her because she thinks she has PMS really bad and strong hormonal imbalances at certain times of the month. I'm sure you can relate to that. And during that time, at least on the first go around, she really ended up not keeping food journals. She was eating mindlessly. She was eating all kinds of foods that really weren't on her protocol. And when I got on the phone with her, you could tell, she was miserable. But this is what we learned. We learned, and she learned, that in her own mind, she believed without a doubt that when she was feeling worse from PMS, because it was an invitation to eat mindlessly as a way of taking care of herself. Honest to goodness, she never realized that before. She thought the imbalanced hormones were making her eat, when in reality, it was her mind making her eat. I am not telling you that there is no such thing as PMS or imbalanced hormones. I'm just telling you that it creates negative emotion. And if you know without a doubt that when there is negative emotion and you don't feel good, all the sugar in the world doesn't make it better. Listen, she did it for a week, and when she was on the phone, believe you me, she was no better. She was miserable, right? And so now what she has learned from that is that just because, and this is just a total change in mindset. Now what she says is, even if I have PMS and even if I feel bad, I don't have to eat. Total change, total belief. She believes that. And you know what now? When she goes through PMS the week, she doesn't eat. She stays mindful. She doesn't feel good. She still doesn't feel good. And she's still working on how to do that. But she's not using food to buffer PMS. She's just feeling it. What has she learned? Probably for the last 15 to 20 years, she believed PMS was the reason to eat. Now, in the last couple months, she has changed her belief system. She has changed her thinking to believe that she can feel bad with PMS and not eat because it does not make her feel better. Now, when you talk to her after, you know how much better she feels because she didn't? She also created a thought that when she eats mindlessly and eats a lot of sugar and flour, it makes the PMS worse. And that when she has her diet more clean, it helps. That's what happens when you start examining your mind around failures, right? So, yes, she was off protocol. Yes, she gained a little bit of weight. That was a long time ago. Now she's down who knows how many pounds. Ask her how great she is. She'll tell you that is like a blip in the radar screen. That's all it is, because she had the thought, I am going to do whatever it takes for as long as it takes, no matter what. And that is how she's becoming successful, not that she has had no failures. And I could tell you tons of my clients that are exactly the same. So if this is you, I want you to listen up to me, really listen up to me. Failure means nothing but a learning experience in anything. And when it comes to you and your body and your mind processes, you are willing to give yourself the latitude of being able to look at what's going on and to know that there is nothing that you can't figure out. And that if something doesn't go the way that you want it and you don't get the result that you want, it just means that you have to think something different, feel something different, and do something different. And how will you know? You'll know because of what you did that didn't work. You'll try something that might work. If you never give up, you will find what works. If you do give up and you stop, you won't. The choice is yours. Failure has nothing to do with it. Stopping has everything to do with it. Are you willing to do whatever it takes, for however long it takes, no matter what, to take care of your own body, to be totally connected to your body, and to be at your natural weight? The answer is yes, you're on the right road. And I promise you, you will get there. And if you need any help whatsoever, you know I do mini sessions and I help clean out your own brain about the things in there that may not be serving you. Because if you've got thoughts like some of my clients had before they started, those will get in your way, and stopping may be what you've been doing instead of learning from your failures. So if you'd like to talk to me, go to drdebbutler.com/work with me. drdebbutler.com/work with me. I'll help you clean out your brain. And until next week, I want you always, always, always to be so kind to yourself, so kind to yourself, so very, very kind to yourself. Bye-bye. If you've been loving my podcast, please, please, please subscribe, and also please, please, please review if you're loving it. The way you heard about it is the way many people hear about it. They Google it or they look for it, and the only way that it pops up is by who reviews it. So if you're loving it, let's pass on the good word and the good news. Thank you.